Hey guys, back on the LJ again today, which is right behind me. I just got finished with this crane. I think you've just seen that video. And I had a couple of XJs to work on. The purple one there, I done pretty much a full front axle rebuild. New knuckles, brakes, ball joints, unit bearings, everything. The black one I had to do a transmission line replacement. It was leaking pretty bad, so I replaced that one. But today we're back on the LJ again. What I've got done since the last video was I put the wiring harness on here. Everything is not hooked up. I'm just laid it across, hooked up a few things to the coils here and the fuel injectors and things like that. Just basically laying it out, trying to get everything worked out. I've still got a bunch of wires that I've got to put in. The PSC pump, I don't think I can use that one. I think I have to use the stock one. But we'll go through this as I get things on. Today, I'm going to work on the transmission. We've seen this one. I showed this one in the first video, which this one was wrong. It's way too thick here. I'll show you in just a minute the other one that I've got. It's off of a, say, a 2005 Ram pickup four-wheel drive, and it's the correct one. This is the correct one. You can see that it's a lot thinner than the other one. I've already got the Holley bracket on here. I just bolted it on to make sure everything fit. It's stepped a little bit, and that's how that bracket goes right there. It's two pieces. This is one piece. This is one piece. So that's how that goes. It's got a new seal and all in it. On the Cherokee one, in this provision here, there was a bearing that goes in there. This one is obviously not cut for the bearing, so that seal right there is what keeps the fluid in. This side will get a gasket. Again, just like in the GMC video where the transfer case bolts on, it has this provision right here. You do not seal this side. You can put a gasket or whatever on here, but this side doesn't really need anything. It's designed so if anything gets in this area, it will drain out. Putting a seal there, you can put RTV all over it, but it's really not needed. So let's get the LJ up in the air. I've already got it on the rack. I just need to raise it up, and we'll take a look at putting that tail housing on the transmission. All right, so looking at this again, this is why I need this one in particular. Number one, it's the right thickness, but it has these 6 holes right here. Those 6 holes is what fits my transfer case. Go under here, and I will show you. This one come off the back of the Cherokee itself, but these has got a lot of holes here. This tail housing will not fit. That's the reason we're having to swap that out. So it's just merely taking out those bolts right around there, pulling this one off and bolting the other one on. All right, so the first thing I got to do is I got to put something under here to support the transmission. I've got this strap right here. It's holding it up right now. So I need to put something in there because when I take this off, this strap's no longer going to hold. All right, we're going to use the impact with the wobbly bit. Got to get my magnetic tray to hold my bolts. Bolt gravity, drop one. Nothing unusual. All my bolts are out. Let me get something to tap it with. I don't like to hit it with a piece of lead or, a piece of steel or anything like a hammer. So I have this piece here. And that's all it takes to get that off. Now I'll clean this surface up, get it all cleaned up, and put the other housing on it. For cleaning this up, I got two different things. I've got this flat gasket scraper right here. It's by Craftsman. And I also got the old standby razor blade tip. Most of the gasket stayed on the in the housing side, so this is not going to take very long to clean this up. All right, I'll go get some acetone, get all this cleaned off, and put some new gasket sealer on it. All right, so just some regular acetone. Picked it up from Lowe's Hardware, your local hardware store. And I'll wipe this off good. That should clean all that old residue off. All right, that should be good. Let's seal it up, stick the housing on. All right, so the way I'm gonna seal this is I'm gonna seal the other side. I'm gonna put the sealer on it and then I'll press it against this. And everybody always wants to know, what do you use? Well, of course, use the right stuff. I like this stuff pretty good. It comes in this cans like this. It all comes in also comes in a tube. So I've already got the other side done. All my surfaces there is good. I'll take a couple of bolts and it will line itself up. It's got this ring right here that fits in here, so it will line itself up. One bolt there. Let's say another bolt right here. And we should be good to go. Put one more up top here before I grab the impact. All right, before I tighten the rest of them up, I'll put them all in, make sure I don't have an issue. grab a 15 wrench and hit these two on the bottom. And this is handled, and I can put the transfer case on. All right, so let's see if we can get the transfer case up here. This is all the wires for the transfer case. I'm gonna put that right here, keep it out of the way for now. We'll pick it up, see if I can get it on there. Just like that. Show you around a little bit. Everything is on there. So now all I have to do is come around here. Let's see if I can get a picture of it. Yeah, right there we go. If you can see right here, get my light right, that's the studs that I have to put the bolts back on. That'll pull everything up nice and tight. All right, so working on this, I have come up with a bit of a snag. This needs to go right here. And as you can see, that one right there will almost go on there, but it's hitting that switch. This also won't go over the top right here because it's hitting that rib. So this bracket from Novak is not going to fit this transfer case with this bracket and that switch being right there. So with that being said, I'm going to have to make a new bracket, and I'll probably use this piece, weld something so I can utilize this bolt hole and this bolt hole, and maybe that one up there, or maybe the combination of one of these that'll hold my mount for my transfer case shifter right there. So that'll be in a later video. I'm not going to work on that right now. Right now I'm trying to get everything bolted up so I can mount this plate to my skid plate. All right, so I showed you that I got the transfer case on, and I worked a little bit longer last night without the camera on, but I got the skid plate or the belly pan on. I got the drive shaft back in. This is the stock, or this was the drive shaft that I had before, and it's a little bit long right here. Of course, I have the suspension drooped out. It actually comes to about here, which I'm okay with. I think the rear drive shaft is going to work, but when I put this thing on, right here, using the Holly products, that new transmission mount went right back into where it was before. So I'm really impressed with these Holly products for this swap. It seemed to do real well. I got all my electrical connections hooked back up. Generally working on some other stuff back around here. I have the transmission shifter cable, got it on. But today I'm going to put it back on the ground, and I'm going to start working on that mess of the wiring harness again. Let me get this back on the ground and I'll show you what we're going to do. All right, so this is what I'm going to work on today. It's all of these wires right here. Here's my fuse block and all that, and I can't really get this stuff out of my way because it mounts on this inner fender right here. So this inner fender goes right here. I'm going to start putting this stuff back on. All that mess right there has got to go back on this inner fender because I don't have anywhere else to put it. So earlier in the video, a few days ago, I had talked about this, and here's the part number. This is a battery temperature sensor, and it's going to fit right here in this hole. Right here is the wire that goes on it. So I do have to have this, so I will put that in, and I'm going to work on some of this wiring harness. Working on this wiring harness isn't real exciting, so I'm not going to video some of it. I'll put the fender on and all that, and I'll show you when it's on and when I get this stuff back on. But watching somebody do wiring, just run some cables here and there, is kind of like watching grass grow. So I'll just show you bits and pieces. Alright, so I got a lot of the plugs and all plugged in. I still have all this wiring harness that goes to the headlights, all of this that goes to the air conditioning, stuff like that. This set right here goes to the electric fan. So we got power wire, we got the power wire for the fan, some other stuff here, AC on and all that kind of stuff. Got the fuse block mounted back to the fender well. Got the heater hoses up here. Those heater hoses are stock off of the Cherokee that I used. Plugs and all up here in the factory location. I've got a mess here. So I've got battery cables, and the starter on this Jeep was on the driver's side, and now it's got to go to the passenger side. So this is the length that I've got, and it won't reach. So I've got to rewire this lug and all that to reach all the way over to the to the driver's side, so I can make that work. Not only did I put these fenders on so I can run all this up, but since I got headlights and all, I went ahead and stuck the grill back on so I can do the lights and all that. I don't have any of the air conditioned stuff in yet, or the radiator and that kind of things. I've still got these hoses right here loose from the power steering pump. I've got to get new hoses made to fit this power steering pump. I got to get this bracket mounted up. There's still an awful lot that I've got to do up here. So we're slowly chipping away at it. Nothing special that I've done so far. So keep watching, and we'll continue on. So looking through my stash of wires, I have found this wire, which is probably a number 4, just like this is. I'm going to use it. It's got a nice end on it right here. I'll have to crimp another end, and it will attach in right here. I'll go ahead and take this off and put it back just like this, and run this one back to the driver's side to the starter. So that's what I decided to use, and I'll go ahead and get that on. Alright, so I got the battery cable all the way over to the starter. You can see that I've got it hooked right there. Got the exciter wire and all there, zip tied up. It's running behind the starter to keep it away from the exhaust, and it runs up over top of the... Alright, so the other end of this battery cable is right here. It runs through here, gonna go behind the computer wiring harness, loop around under the battery tray, and come up right here. So I've got this thing double sleeved. I've got a 1/4 inch piece of split loom on it, and then I've got a 3/8 piece of split loom. So it's double insulated. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape this up with this tape here. I'll go ahead and tape this joint up and then cut it off about here and make my connections. All right, so like I said, I got this taped up with this this tape that I use. It's actually made for wires and all. It's kind of a cloth tape. Look under your hood in your vehicle, you'll probably see it. So that's where the double loom ends. I'm going to come out here. I'm going to cut it off right here, strip the wire back, and go ahead and get my terminal on there. I go ahead and finish cutting that through. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and take a picture of it, but that's how I'm cutting my wires. All right, using a compression lug from just the hardware store. It's the closest thing that I found to the factory terminal ends. And then I'm using the hydraulic press here to crimp those on. That's how I'm doing it. Alright, so that's what it looks like after I got it crimped on. 2 wires into 1 lug, just like the factory. Alright guys, back in the shop again this afternoon. As you've seen earlier, all this is in. I've got the transmission and all, the transfer case. Everything is bolted on. Go underneath here and see if you can see any of this. I don't think you can see it real well. But the transfer case and all is in. So I called my exhaust guy today, and he's got an opening tomorrow. So I've got to zip tie all these wires up, get everything put away, and get this thing loaded on the trailer tonight so I can take it to him tomorrow and get exhaust run on this thing. When I get it back from exhaust, we'll do whatever we need to do to get this thing started. I still got the radiator to put in, air conditioning, all the stuff that came with it. But I got to zip tie all these loose wires up and out of the way so I can transport this on the trailer. So that's what I'm going to do tonight, is go ahead and try and get all this put together, load it on the trailer for exhaust tomorrow. And I'll show you what it'll look like tomorrow when I get it back. So let me show you the underneath of the Jeep. I got it back on the lift, but I can get the rear drive shaft on without any problem. It goes here to the rear end. That's not a problem. The front though, the front has got to go way back there, and I can't get to it real good. So what I'm gonna do is drop this belly pan back out, put a support underneath the oil pan here, support all of this. There's the starter and all that, but to support all this so I can get the front drive shaft installed pretty easy. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright guys, so it's the next evening, and as I said, I've got the Jeep loaded up on the trailer, fixing to take it to KB Custom Exhaust. So I'm going to have my exhaust and all done. It was a pain in the butt to get the Jeep up there because it don't run just yet. It don't have the radiator in it, the trans cooler, or anything like that. But as you can see, it's on the trailer, strapped down. That's not going anywhere. So we've got it up here, get you out of the sun, close all the doors, roll it up there backwards. So I'm fixing to take it to get the exhaust put on it. Just fixing to leave the house, and the boss showed up. So she's gonna ride along with me while we go over to KB's place. She's also gonna take over videoing. Say hey.
Hey.
All right, let's go. Close the door. All right, so we just got to where we're going. KB Custom Exhaust. All right, so if you're ever in Asheboro and you need some custom exhaust done, this is the place to go. Kevin does a really good job. Let's go see him. Somebody's working late.
Somebody's working late.
Yeah.
Late.
You all right?
I did, but I have bruises on.
That's all right.
I just wish I was a little bit shorter.
All right, it's in the shop at KB Custom Exhaust. This is Kevin.
How y'all doing?
So he's gonna chop this up, use it as much as he can. We're gonna go 2.5 with the cats and all that, and then we're gonna swap to 3" all the way back. That should give us a good deep tone. Everything will be working right. Like I said, if you're ever in Asheboro and you need some exhaust work, this is the man right here. Come see him, KB Custom Exhaust in Asheboro. All right, trailer's empty. It's in there, so hopefully he'll be done tomorrow. So maybe this weekend I get done. I'll put everything back together and we'll fire it up and see what she sounds like. I'll see y'all back at the house.